Let's see if this works. Uh-oh. This thing. Let's see. Trying something new. If you can hear me, let me know, because I'm coming off my phone and not my computer, man. Let me know if you can hear me. Type something in there. Let me know you can hear me. Yo, do me a solid, please. Just type something in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. Because I'm doing something new. I'm coming off my phone versus my computer. Let me know. Can I get a sound check? Somebody type something. Can you hear me? Just type something in the chat for me. You can hear me. Type something in the chat for me. You can hear me. Why can't I see chat? You type something in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. Bam. Thank you, Miss Bridget. Appreciate you. There we go. I can see something. All right, cool beans, man. Cool beans. I know it's Friday. People busy. So I'm sneak one in here real fast. I'm raising a question called, when is your financial new year? When is your money new year, right? And so, can I start with this? It's interesting because the Chinese, for example, start their new year when the sun and moon are together in the sky, called a new moon. And for them, they mark a certain time that they, that they say, we'll start our year here, which is normally the new moon in Aquarius. And then we're about to come up on Rosh Hashanah real soon, where we're going to see the Jewish New Year comes in, and this is going to be the day of or the day after the new moon in Virgo on average. And then the Islamic New Year comes in a month after the Jewish New Year, normally, right? So here go 3 cultures off the top that I know of that start their new year shortly after the sun and moon are conjoined together in the sky, called a new moon. All right. We show how the sun, in one regard, is the conscious mind. It is the life-giving source of energy, the sun. And the moon is the subconscious mind, and it reflects or bounces the light off the light of the sun off it. So then you have a conscious and a subconscious, a masculine and a feminine. I always say this is Apollo and Diana. They are together, the sun and moon. So it's interesting that the Jewish New Year coming, Rosh Hashanah. I'm gonna have to do a piece on this all by itself, which is pretty dope, because one thing with the Jewish culture that I like with the New Year is, on average, this is going to take place in the only constellation that's depicted as a woman, Virgo, the Virgin. It is absolutely the only constellation that's depicted as a woman. So I find it quite interesting that Rosh Hashanah, the head of the new year, is when the masculine and feminine component are together in the sign of Virgo. Also within that paradigm, the Jewish paradigm, like tonight, this evening, the woman of the house is supposed to light the candles, and she does this prayer where she's going to hone in and draw in the feminine presence of God known as the Shekinah. This is a Friday evening, 18 minutes before sunset. All right? And I was sharing with some Jewish people why 18 minutes before sunset, and it was just totally like, yo, what's up, Mike? It was like blown away. Why 18 minutes before sunset? And I'll save that for, I'm going to do a piece on Rosh Hashanah as we get close to it, the head of the year. And so for the Jewish culture, the sun and moon are together. My point is saying that the woman lights these Shabbat candles, and this is known as the Shekinah, because in the Hebrew tradition, we are absolutely taught that the woman has this uncanny ability to draw forth spiritual energy and help manifest it on this physical plane. It makes sense, right? She gives birth, so it ain't hard to understand it. And so the Islamic and Chinese, these are cultures that are saying our new year will begin, happy birthday. Our new year will begin when these two cosmic principles of our psyche, male and female, our left brain, right brain, are together, are bridged. Now, I want to be clear, because you can start a new year whenever you want to. If New Year's is based off of astronomy, then it's whatever you choose to observe, right? So you can observe and say, hey, I'm going to start the new year on January the 1st when the sun, earth, and Sirius are in a straight line. Canada says, listen, I'm going to start on July the 1st when Sirius, sun, earth is in a straight line. It's the opposite of our new year. The Chinese say, man, y'all tripping. I'm rocking out when the sun and moon are together in Aquarius, which is the age that we in for the next 2,000 years. Right? And so we like, man, y'all out of pocket because we in line with Sirius. Well, we in line with the age. Well, like, it depends what you want to observe. This is the beauty of being the observer. Because wherever you're observing, you are the center point focus wherever you're looking out at. Everything is going to be like this V. It's going to draw back to you, you being the center point, making the observation. Okay? All right. So the question I'm posing tonight is, when is the financial new year for you as a person. So this is when you have to get inside of your own birth chart. And tonight's conversation really can only be derived from knowing the time of your birth. That becomes important. Okay? The time of your birth becomes important. And the reason why that's important is because I am telling you that it's like at the time of your birth, the cutting of the umbilical cord, when you're able to draw breath for yourself and on your own as an independent being now at this particular point, every single planet in the sky, visible or non-visible, in all 12 zodiac signs, what appears to be around your head, was at a certain position. This is true. So now, let's just say above your head is a halo, 360. Okay? This is the real halo. The halo that you see is not just talking about an angel. It's really talking about what appears, and that's the illusion, what appears to be, I don't want to say above, but for lack of a better word, above your head, or let's just say around you, 360 degrees. So now if you took this 360 degrees of space and we divided it up evenly into 12 areas of 30 degrees apiece, because 30 times 12 is 360, then there's a certain region of space when you're born of 30 degrees that says, hey, that's my money space right there. Right there is my money space. Over there is my relationship space. There is my career space. Right? Here's my friends right here. So these areas of space called houses in astrology, that's what houses really are. They're areas of space that represent different gateways into your life, different areas of your life. You really got to understand that, because when you learn the information, it's just like, oh, it's the house, what's the house? And then we keep seeing it like it's just on paper because we're looking at a chart, not really paying attention or being amazed at the fact that we're talking about a region in space. So now the house of money, finances, is what we will call in the northeast portion of the chart. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting because it's something in the Western mystery schools that deals with the northeast corner. Historically speaking, the cornerstone for all buildings, the first one, the northeast corner is the first stone that goes down. Okay? This is the first stone that lays the foundation for the temple to be built. For those that understand. This is the same region of space that has everything to do with your money. Everything. In your chart, this is known as the second house. And that's different from other people's based upon your time of birth. We got to understand that, because I can be born today, right now. This area of space is my money house, and let's just say the zodiac sign Cancer is right there. Well, 2 hours later, the next zodiac sign, Leo, is going to be right there. And then 2 hours later, the next sign, Virgo, is going to be right there. So although it looks that we have these fixed portions of space, right? The zodiac signs, every 2 hours, keeps rotating over and over, and all other signs that's coming behind it is rotating and rotating and rotating, right? So 12 signs times 2 hours equals 24 hours in a day. So on average, each sign stays on one house or specific region of space for about 2 hours before another sign comes and occupies that. You understand that? Because if you just look at the sun, all day today, the sun, we can say is, I don't know, we can call it, what, for Virgo or whatever, you know. All day today, it's in Virgo, but throughout the day, it was in the east in the morning, then a couple hours later, it was in the south. For me now, it's in the west, okay? And so we're watching one day, but within the day, we're watching the energies progress, rise and set. So now, I was doing these reports because every month in my private Astro network, I give people what's called a secondary report. All right? I got an ill testimonial coming for y'all that deals with lottery based off of looking at this energy. So it's part of the reason why I'm sharing this information with y'all tonight, so y'all can really get in the zone and start winning here. And so the second house deals with your money. The question is, when will the sun and moon, the new moon, be in that zodiac sign that is on your second house? Because that just made the note when your new year financially shall begin. Very interesting to observe. Because I know for a fact, this is what we do know. You know that the sun is a force of life. Without it, we die. It's masculine in the sense. We know that the moon is a force of life in itself. Gravitational pulls. It has its significance. So this is daddy and mommy, male, female. Conscious and subconscious are coming together as one. So what if when these two come together in your money house, this marks the new year financially, because the sun and moon coming together is called the new moon. Unless it's a solar eclipse that year, which is still a new moon, right? So it's a new beginning in this particular sign. So each sign, wait, what's happening, Anwar? Each sign has the sun to be there at some portion of the 12-month calendar year, and then the moon is going to catch up with it, because the moon goes through each sign once a month anyway. So the moon's going to catch up with it. Then the next month, the sun going to go here. And then the moon may be over here, but it's going to catch up with, before that sun get out of there, the moon moves so fast, she going to line up with it here. Alright? So there's only once a year when the sun and moon are going to come together in the house for you that represents money. So if you've been following me for a minute, you know, I'm like, hey, come with some data. Pull up your chart. Can you pull up your chart? Look at your second house. And now you got to get technical. Because, like for me, for example, I know the degree that my second house starts on. So what happens when your second house, the house of money, is, let's just say, 15 degrees Leo? But the new moon in Leo is going to be 13 degrees Leo. That's not taking place in your second house. That's going to be in your first house. So that line that's coming to that second house, you got to use math now, because your whole life is a mathematical experience anyway. So now you got to be able to say, all right, how do I look at this? Or you can cheat. It ain't really cheating. On astro.com, you can click, what is that? You can click the link above the chart, additional tables, perhaps, maybe. And on the right hand side, it's going to say houses, and then it's going to tell you the exact degree that each house starts on. First all the way through the 12th. So you don't have to guess, it's telling you. Alright? So let's see if y'all up on the level. If you're not on the level, man, then you're gonna have to come get, you're gonna need to get a consult or something. You gotta get on the level. You gotta get it on the level with this, man. Alright? Alright? So I think that particular model, because you have an even house model, you have what is called fastidious models. Me personally, I rock with it because everything is moving. That's me personally. Everything is moving. So just because, like, if I'm 28 degrees Aquarius and that house starts at 28, I don't want to zero it back down and make it, you know, Aquarius is right here and it's all even Steven. Because to me, it takes away the mathematical fact of what's actually rising and where everything is in quote unquote real time, the time that I took my breath. So I'm okay with the motions. It's just a matter of just calculating, see where it's at. So if you know where your money house is, who is the ruler of your money? That's the question. Because that technically falls on your second house. That planet that rules that sign is going to show you how to get access to your money. Guaranteed. This is law. Guaranteed that that's how it's going to happen. So if Leo rules your second house, then the position of the sun gives you insight of how you tap into the financial flow. And then, like I said, do you know the time of year when the new moon is going to come and join in your money house? I was giving my people that today. When I see that marker happens, new moon in the second house, I let them know this is your financial lunar money year for you. Because the moon, without a shadow of a doubt, is on a cycle. It's on a cycle. We say new moon, full moon, and those things. We watch that universal phenomenon. But then there's a personal phenomenon that takes place. Right? There's a personal phenomenon that takes place that's predicated upon your time of birth. So now, again, we want to say, okay, well, shit, I'm a Leo, and as far as the second house goes, then I know when the new moon come in Leo, it's on and popping. It's going to happen in my second house. So the new moon in Leo is going to be my new financial year. And I'm going to be clear. And it's not that I don't have any financial goals throughout the Syrian year, because the Syrian year is January the 1st. That's one of them. All right? And so that's okay too. I got a goal within that year. But I'm just going to be clear that I got a financial goal from new moon in my second house to the next year to the new moon in my second house. And that's predicated upon that sign that's on the second house, man. So y'all tell me what y'all got. Can you pull up your chart real fast and see what you got and see if we can get some insight flowing. All right. Now's the time to open up that extra window, astro.com. I would say, man, if you subscribe to this channel, have your chart ready. Let's get into it, because we can make it happen. We can just share some data. So what you got on the second house? I know what mine is. I'm in pocket. When's yours? So the second house is Taurus, 26 degrees, right? All right. So 26 Taurus, I got Jupiter at 26 Taurus. I'm coming, Jalen. Let me get my paper together, man. Let me move some of these houses so I can get in that art thing with you. I'm coming. So 26 Taurus, right? So now here's a classic point. So Jalen said, hey, my second house starts at 26 degrees Taurus. Now, what if the new moon in Taurus is anywhere from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 25 degrees? Shit, Jalen was like, his new moon was like 26 degrees in such and such minute. Like, even if it's 1 minute before, that's technically not your second house. So you would have to wait until that new moon has to be at 26 or past 26. Pay attention to, if Jalen's second house starts at 26 degrees Taurus, and let's just say his house is even. The second house is going to be 26 Taurus, and then his third house is going to start at 26 Gemini. So that means everything from 26 Taurus, 27, 28, 29 Taurus, 0 Jimmy, all the way up to 25 Jimmy is going to be his third house, because the 26th degree of Gemini starts his third house. All right? So pretty much 26 Taurus, 27, 28, 29 Taurus. So it's only 4 degrees of Taurus, 26 through 29. All right? And then 0 through 25 of Gemini is his second house. So if the new moon this upcoming year in 2019, because we passed Taurus already, so this upcoming new moon in 2019, if it comes at 25 degrees Taurus, this is not the new moon in his second house. His new moon starts at 26. So then if it comes at 25 degrees, he missed it. But if it's 25 Gemini, bam, it's there. It's in his second house. So this is where you have to be clear at, because I can guarantee you, we can just see it mathematically. Jalen only has 26, 27, 28, and 29. He only has 4 degrees of Taurus in his second house. So if that new moon is not coming at 26, 27, 28, 29, the new moon in Taurus is not his new money moon. His money year is going to be when it's in Gemini. Okay? So you got to pay attention to the math. All right? So now, Jalen, the homework is real fast. If you can scale up to the new moon 2019 Taurus, what degree is that going to be in 2019? Because that's going to give us some insight if you want to be, is it in Taurus or if it's in Gemini? Because you may have to wait till the Gemini moon that falls in your second house. And then that's going to be the gateway. Or the new year. But since 26 Taurus rules your money, that's interesting because Venus rules your money. And Venus deals with art. And I know you're an artist. Venus is the arts. Socializing, relationships as well. Alright. So who else knows? This is how you find your new, this is your new financial year for you. It's imperative that you make a financial goal when the new moon is in your second house. And that's for a year. And then you know what? You know what's going to happen 6 months later? You need to make, so 19 Aquarius. Alright. Wait a minute. Was that, say that again, Clarion Press. Say that again. Because I think you had Saturn. He says, I don't know if that was Saturn or your second house. And so 6 months from your new year is going to be the full moon in that exact same spot. So it's really imperative that you write, you got a 1 year goal and you got a 6 month checkup period. Or you got are you within that year? You got two phases of 6. You got the first half and the second half. So you got a 6-month goal for the first half of the year, and then the back half of the year you got another 6-month goal that's going to take you there. Because I know for a fact that 6 months later is going to be a full moon in their house. Right? So if we say, hey, the new moon in Aquarius, Saturn is in the second house. Oh, you got Saturn in the second house. I'm looking at the second house starter. I want the second house cusp. No planets, not right now. The actual second house cusp. Where does the second house begin? Right? May 4th, 2019. So May 4th, what degree is May 4th? So that's early. We're dealing with April 22nd. That's early. So yeah, you should be good. You should be good. All right. So then it starts right there. So Jalen's saying, hey, May the 4th, the new moon is going to take place in Taurus. 6 months later, the sun is going to be in front of Scorpio. Yes? Right? So then that means if the sun is in front of Scorpio, when the moon gets in front of Taurus, it's going to be the full moon. This is why I'm saying within your year, you can make a 6-month goal, which is the full moon goal. And then once the full moon gets here, you're halfway there. Then you're working on the next 6, which is going to be your year's completion. So it's imperative to have a nice 180-day, 6-month goal as it pertains to the 1 year. All right? So if it was 19 degrees Aquarius for you, Bridget, then the question is, somebody tell me, because you'll see a pattern. It'd only be off maybe by a degree or 2 tops. What degree is the new moon coming in 2019? Jalen, what degree is the 2019 moon? You said May 4th? So if we come in around April 22nd, plus 7 is the 29th, 30th, 31st, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we talking about maybe, I'm thinking 13 degrees, right? May 4th, because July 4th is around 13 degrees. Yeah. So we're talking about maybe 13 degrees Taurus. Jalen, look at that, 13 degrees Taurus. That's right, 13 degrees Taurus is going to be in your first. Remember, your second house started at 26. Right? So, May, June. We're going to need that June 4th or whatever. It'll probably be around June 1st, 2nd of 2019. It's probably going to be around anywhere from 10 to 13 Gemini. That's when it's going to be in your second house. Whenever that June new moon is. Alright? So just a little homework assignment for y'all to do for yourself, man. Alright? It's a little work. It ain't hard to do. Again, you know, right now, today, you're not looking at no planets in the second. You're looking at, mathematically speaking, what sign does the second house fall on, and what degree is that second house on. Once you locate that, again, the cheat sheet is, I know when you're on astro.com, you can click, I want to say it's a link on the left-hand side right above the chart. Click here for additional tables or something. You can click that. It's going to turn into a worksheet. And on the right hand side, it's going to give you all your houses. And then that second house is going to say 15. Then it's going to have a glyph, which is the zodiac sign. Then it's going to have these other numbers, which is going to be the minutes and the second. So once you identify exactly to the degree in minute and second of where your second house cusp is, then you can go up into the future and say, you know what, when is the new moon in Gemini? But you got to make sure that it's past that degree. That takes some measuring. That takes, see, now you see why this takes a class. This is math. Because it's dealing with motion and bodies. See what I'm saying? But it's not hard. It ain't hard. It's not hard to do. So if you got a question, now's the time, man. I just wanted to share this with y'all real fast. So if you got a question, shoot it to me. What you got? Any question whatsoever. Open format. What you got? I do have Venus and Taurus as well. May 4th, 2019 is the new moon for me. May 4th. All right. All right. Be sure that you know it, man. Any questions? I'm on my phone, so I don't get this. The comments like come and they fade out and whatnot. Let me see something. There we go. All right. So, Sag 17. 17 degrees Sag. So now what we have to do is, it'll look like the new moons are coming in around 13. So that's what I'm saying. If that new moon comes in at 13 Sag, then it's not going to be Sag. It's going to be the next sign. It's going to be Capricorn, where it falls in your second house at. That's important to know. It happened like that. It may not be the sign that is going to, the sign of your second house. The new moon may not fall on that sign to be in your second house. Because if your gateway starts at 17 Sag, if the new moon is at 13 Sag is not, this year is not going to be, it's not falling in your second. It's technically in your first. So it has to be on or after that degree. And a lot of sites, when it's new moon, they just tell you the date. They don't even talk degrees like that. This is where you may have to become a little cognizant and learn how to read what's called an ephemeris. Chaldea, K-H-A-L-D-E-A, Chaldea.com. Click on ephemeris, give you a planetary record all the way back to the year 1600, and give you some stuff all the way up in the future as well. So now you can time travel and look at stuff. Alright. Once you do the final location, what do you use to calculate, or you just answer it? Yeah, you look at, once you find that house location, and then you go find in 2019 when it's coming, maybe this year for you, when it's coming, then you got to make sure that that degree that is coming on that degree or after that degree, not before. And the only way you can do that is then you got to get into an ephemeris, man. Alright, you're going to have to get into an ephemeris. Okay. Alright. Yeah, now you can check it later. Check it later, man. It'll be here. Alright. But yeah, let me unplug my phone before I burn my battery out. But yeah, if you got a question, shoot it to me. Yep. Right, one Gemini. Right, so if it's one Gemini, then we right now in the year, because we now in Virgo season, so Gemini season was 3 months ago. So you missed it. However, the full moon's gonna come. full moon can come and highlight it for sure. That happens. All right. That happens. All right. So I'm gonna share some updates with y'all. I gotta look at my calendar, but Minister Jew got a webinar coming up. I don't have the date of it. I think the 15th, I want to say, but don't quote me. But it's on theimaginationguru.com, theimaginationguru.com, shop tab webinar, spiritual business. We're talking amplifying your imagination as it pertains to your business and challenging yourself to see if your mental wave, your mental signal can indeed start to attract more business for yourself. It's very true. It's very real. It works. Got probably our highest testimonial to date for sure. The brother won a contract with the city of Chicago when he lost it. He came in second. But he kept doing the practice anyway. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, which we know, but for some reason, the city found a reason not to give the first place winner the contract, and they awarded him the contract. Big ass contract too. We're talking like $769,000. You know what I mean? Damn near $800,000 contract. You know what I mean? Kept doing it after he quote unquote lost the bid. Just kept doing it. Basically reversed the process, right? So spiritual business, want to check that webinar out, man, early September. It is on theimaginationguru.com, shop tab webinar, right? I'm going to put a free webinar together this month for y'all. May do it when we in Florida. This month, September, we in Florida. If you want to meet us there, I'm renting a mansion in Jacksonville. In Fort Lauderdale. And it's a 3-day weekend stay. We're talking business. Got a pool back there. Just gonna have a great time and really call it really a vision board party in a sense, and really get clear on where you're going financially. Tapping in some of this wealth. That's why I rented the mansion, you know, for a weekend. You know what I mean? And if you want to come through, the beds, sleeping in the mansion is already full. But you just, you know, if you want to meet us there, meet us there. There's an option that's there. Kick it with us all 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is like September the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, that weekend right there, fall equinox. All right. You can get to it myastrologycoach.com. And go to the events tab, and then you're going to see retreats. Excuse me, that's going to be right there. All right, you'll see the retreats. And that's Fort Lauderdale, man. It's going to be amazing. Like, you want to talk about rich. I mean, literally, big-ass mansion. You know what I mean? Marble floors, the whole nine. Swimming pool in the back, the whole nine. Because in order for us to get to the next level, I believe it is nice to put yourself in the vicinity of where you're going, and versus you just looking at it on TV or on a picture on your vision board. You got to go visit these things. You got to go test drive the car. You got to go shopping in the neighborhood. You got to touch it. You got to stay in it. You got to become one with it and whatnot. And so, if you want to feel what it's like to be wealthy, literally, come through. All right, come through. New site, theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com, theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com. This is where we are getting really focused on financial prosperity. I got to be very clear about that. Financial prosperity is an absolute must. An absolute must. Although today you're here and you're looking at your financial new year, which is great. But let's create a vehicle where we can go get wealth. You know what I mean? Where we can become very wealthy off of a vehicle and utilizing these spiritual and mental principles that we know. So the Prosperity Investment Group is where we at. Strictly business over there. Either you want to grow your business, we can talk about raising money, we talk about partnering. If you're interested in real estate, call me. It's the best I can say, man. This thing is a game changer, an eye opener. It's that one that changes your financial well-being for real. And you don't have to be the one physically doing it. That's why we have a private group where we handle that portion of, all right, listen, we do it. You know what I mean? And let's link up and let's just discuss some business and figure out what's the best strategy for you. If you want to learn it, I'm willing to show you what I know and share the process of what I have learned in the process of flipping. While I'm still learning, I'm still kicking it back to you. This is what I know. Right here, I'm at this phase now. Here it is. So I know what it's like to get qualified for funding now. You know what I mean? Because that's there. I know what it's like to get a contractor, what documents your contractors should have, and you absolutely got to have. I know the structure of how your business needs to be and whatnot when you're dealing with this thing. So that's very important as well and whatnot. And then the procedure on what we would call the rules with the money. Because, like, you know, with my particular link, literally there's rules to it because it's somebody else's money, right? And so it may be, hey, I can't sell nothing for less than $70,000. If it don't have a $70,000 value to it, I can't even look at it because it's too cheap. You know what I'm saying? So it has to meet a certain criteria. So there's certain things that go inside of this thing. But I gotta share it with you. For those of you who want to get it, I have to. You know, it's my job to share. The Aquarian in me wants to share with the world and pour this water of prosperity and information on you. All right. So the Prosperity Investment Group. Got a question for me? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Let me go to the chat. My second house is in Aries, 3 degrees. Dope. So that means, guess what? The Taurus new moon, unless, well, it's 3 degrees Aries. So then any new moon in Aries, as long as it's not 1 or 2 degrees, will be on your second house. Because you got all the back half of Aries. So 9 times out of 10, you just make sure that that Aries new moon fall on the degree or after that degree for it to qualify to be in your second house. All right. We got a challenge that's coming up in October. Y'all get ready. We got an experiment that's coming up that's gonna blow your mind. I can't wait to share this video testimonial that's coming. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the basis of it. And we got a few of these. I wake up the other morning to a text, and the brother was like, "Man, you the truth. You told me to play the lottery, and I won a couple bands." I knew he'd win. What am I looking at to determine that? I'm looking at energy. This particular case, I'm looking at, I know what this cosmic force represents, and I know what this one represents. This one right here, prosperity and abundance, happens to be coming in alignment with something that equals money or the same thing that equals prosperity and abundance for you. Now within this timeline, because I can measure the planets, now within this timeline, I can win the lottery. This is very possible. So play now. This is more of your lucky time, for sure. See, we're not going to act like seasons ain't real. Everything got a season, right? But when it's cold outside, and this is winter, doesn't mean you can't travel below the equator, quote unquote, same time, different location, different experience though. So now you want all the time. You want sunshine all the time, move to the equator. You want to experience fluctuations, you like coldness, move up north. Move closer to the poles. It's up to you. The days don't change, man. Only the angular relationship to the planetary body changes. Only the angular relationship changes. But the equator is flat line. It's very consistent. Alright? So everything got a little season to it. So since you to a degree, I want to say you stuck, you in a particular locale and you ain't moving around, you ain't quantum jumping, you ain't doing what rich people do. In the wintertime, rich people in Florida. In the summertime, they're on the other side. Right? They out of there. They rent their houses out and shit. In the wintertime, they back at home. Alright? That's quantum jumping. They own all the time. Because they stand within the light at all times. The warmth at all times. You're never going cold, man. You gotta really pay attention to that. Rich people try their best. Wealthy people try their best to never go cold. Right? Same day, but they having a different reality for those of us that may appear to be stuck. That don't have the means to make that move. Alright. So let me see. You got a question for me? Get up out of here. I was one of those that didn't follow the season of life and it bit me. You know what happens? Moon in Aries, Taurus Sun. So you got a waning moon when you was born. Maybe we'll get into that one of these shows. Oh shit, girl. I don't know if I'm about to say girl. Muhammad. I want to mess your first name up, Katouche. The progress chart is the bomb diggy. So I'll have some videos on here. None of them are titled the progress chart, but I'll talk about the progress chart. I'm a fan of the progress chart. I just showed one of the mentees yesterday that some of her experiences are absolutely not inside of her natal chart. You wouldn't see it. It's not where it's taking place at. The experience is being mirrored from the progress chart. So I'm a big fan of the progress chart. And it's so dope because that the universe or the solar system that we're born in, yo, that shit is moving with you. It's really moving with you. So progressions is Katouche, yeah. So progression is hella dope when you're dealing with timing and events. Especially when you have houses that have progressed to 29 degrees. When a house progressed to 29 degrees, you can bet your ass that area of your life is coming to some closure and a new beginning is happening. There's some serious pressure right there and you about to get ready to roll into some newness. So I'm a big fan of progression. If the moon progresses to 15 degrees, when it gets close to 15 degrees, you got to mind your heart energy because it's been noted, because Leo deals with the heart, 15 degrees of any zodiac sign, 14, 15 is the center. Because each sign got 30 degrees. So it starts from 0 to 29. Okay? And so 14, 15 is the mid zone of the sign. And so when the progressed moon gets close to 15 degrees, then you can have some chest pains and things of that nature. So you want to make sure, even without that being there, everybody should make sure that, you know, you can live a life with no stress. Because the heart is the #1 punching bag that gets affected from stress. In most cases. Heart and kidneys. Alright? So progression is a nice thing to use for calculating things. I take a sneak peek in them and I'm just trying to understand all of the houses and make sure that they're not at 29 degrees, because that area of my life is about to change. So if the 6 houses work and it's at 29 degrees, you bet your ass you're thinking about getting a new job. You're tired of this place. Next year, or within that year, it's going to be 0 degrees. 0 is a new beginning, so here comes some new stuff. All right? So 0 degrees on the 5th house could potentially mean a new child is coming. Pregnancy. You know what I mean? So these things are very, very insightful when we're dealing with that progress. I like progression. You're very welcome. I like progression. All right. So yeah, if you're not on the mailing list, myastrologycoach.com. Join the mailing list, myastrologycoach.com. Today I definitely gave you some homework. How do you even get started in this thing, man? I would recommend, hey, go to astro.com. It's free. Sign up. You can figure this stuff out. Trust me, I did. You can. What'd you say, Shannon? I can't see that text because I'm on the video. So, but you can figure it out. You can get my self-activation workbook to give you the starters. That's not going to get with showing you how to look at the degrees, but it's giving you the basic blueprint and template of understanding your houses, the planets that's in those houses, and you understanding yourself. That's the basic template. Then from there, you jump into that mentoring program if you really, really want it. You make that accessible to you, because I would love for you to, in my heart of hearts, do this, right? Do something within it for your own namesake and whatnot, and we continue to build. Well, I go over here and do X, Y, Z, and we've just formed this big, nice Voltron. It's just such an Aquarian thing to do in my mind, right? When we collectively come together. But in all honesty, I want to share the platform with you. And when I do this free webinar coming up with the Prosperity Investment Group, creating the business directory. I got a phone call last week from a guy. And this is how dope spirit is. Dude happened to see the website. Now, I'm in Ohio, and he don't know where, he didn't call me because he thought I was in Ohio. He just called because he saw the site. And long story short, we just happened to be in the same city. And I went to go meet with them. This is 107.5 Radio 1. And we about to do some work. 2019's in the bag. I'm about to do some work. But my point is, if somebody like that with that kind of reach is seeing the site, I'm going to create a business directory where your name, your business name, your brand, your website, your link is on that site. Because here it is, Radio 1 calling me to do business with them. If I would have had that directory in place, they would have been calling you like, shit, here's a whole list. He didn't have to go fishing too far. Here's already a network. And what I want to do within this network, because we got something that's very valuable. Very, 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 very valuable. You know what I mean? When I mean we, I'm talking about that this circuit that we have online, online community is really, it's just magnificent. It is. And we need to really, really utilize the time that we have. When I say time, the time on earth, right, that we have to really aim at our absolute best expansion. And if you are an entrepreneur in any shape, form, or fashion, I want to be able to help. And I just want to share. Honestly, I just want us to be able to help each other. Because as long as we're empowering each other, we all that we need, in the sense that there's enough of us to circulate our energy within ourselves that we can get to any desired goal that we have. As long as we all in agreement that, yo, let's attain this and let's get this, in the sense. And even in your personal thing, and let me just be clear. Here go, I'm looking at a banging ass In my opinion, ain't my opinion, I know, hands down, this is absolutely the best bath and body product. It's really exotic bath and body, and that's why we call it this. That is off the chain. Smoke Victoria's Secret shit. Blow it out the water. I mean, really off the chain. You know what I mean? From you selling whatever. You know what I mean? Jalen got art. He's an artist. You know what I mean? Like, I want that platform to be there where we're going to exchange. Because I remember being that dude that needed that shot. And I still need shots, right? I'm not afraid to ask for that shot. So back in the day when you was coming up as a kid, you know, you had to go ask somebody. If you ain't had the money, somebody got to front you to work, right? Somebody got to put you on, as we call it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're going to, you know, do other things to get it, you know what I mean? But sometimes we need opportunity. You know what I mean? And I'm not afraid to go knocking and looking for opportunity to seize that opportunity. You know what I mean? And I know it's hard for us to a degree. A lot of us are shy. And, you know, we don't like asking people for stuff. We don't like asking people for money because we know how people are for their money and they funny and you know how people are with their money. We hear all this shit. That's not me, man. I'm not with that one. I'll ask you, for real, straight up. Because I really believe in what we have. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say, man, just stay on the lookout. Join our email list. Whether it's My Astrology Coach, we have your email. The Imagination Guru, we got your email. You just really need to sign up for one of them, and we got you already, and whatnot. And when those email comes out, sometimes I give instruction to say, hey, I'm gonna do this free webinar, but you just click on this link, and it's gonna automatically save your email. That way, I go through the filter process, and so now, when I send that link out, I'm not sending it to my entire email network. I'm only sending it to the people who clicked on the link because they intentionally showed an interest that they wanted to sign up for this free webinar. All right? And so if you sign up on any of the websites, we got your email. You don't have to sign up on all of them. We got you. All right? But pay attention to the instruction because it just may say, hey, click on this link so we can save your email. So when the details come, you got it. Bada bam bam, you in here. Alright, but I'm definitely gonna create this prosperous platform, man. When I show y'all this free webinar. This month closed on 2 new houses, working on another one. Alright? And so got new properties in the pipeline. Magnificent one. This one is one of them is 2,217 so 2,217 square feet. Old Colonial Historical District. Banger on the low. Banger on the low. Understand this money and real estate thing, Taurus, Cancer, sometimes I get into that, but this money and real estate thing go hand in hand, all right? When you understand the chart, you start seeing the play. If Taurus is money and the 4th house Cancer is home or real estate, then notice how an earth sign to the water sign, they're 2 signs apart. It's called a sextile. That represents an opportunity. So your money line to your real estate line is an opportunity in astrology. It ain't no drama right there. Real talk. And then your home line to your joint partnership line, the 4th house to the 8th house, normally is what we call a trine, which would be Cancer to Scorpio, which they're water signs. You see what I'm saying? So now that's even the flow when you're having joint finances and people coming together to deal with joint investments / real estate, things like that. Those things are congruent to one another. And even the meditation. So the money thing rocks with the water stuff. All of the earthly, tangible things, Virgo, work. Capricorn, career, success. Taurus, money. All of those things, 3 earth things, get along with the spirituality, imagination, dreams, real estate, that's Neptune, Pisces, real estate, home, family, supposed to be. All right, Cancer, Scorpio, joint finances, resources. Hey, you may even get you some sex in the middle of that too. So those water qualities have the balancing effect on these earthly tangible things. The air and the fire, the philosophy, all talk with no physical action behind it, no implementation, no technique, all talk, all talk. They don't understand the finances. So when we look out into quote unquote, all right, I went out. So we start seeing, when we look out in the consciousness, we start seeing, let's just keep it real, we start seeing some broke ass shit, man. We be seeing like, yo, where that's at. But I will say this too, I'm gonna retract, because that water energy, Neptune, that Pisces, that we call it that dirty water, that muddy water, that old Flint water. When that's dirty, it's scams and lies and deceit, and then it's people getting you for your money. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you X, Y, Z as it pertains to these material things, and then they getting you. You know what I'm saying? And so the unique thing about it over here, man, honestly, like for real, you can ask anybody in the chat, like straight up, like since 2012 we've been helping people pay bills. Just bills. Like literally called the Toel Love Fund. We've been helping people pay their bills. $13 a month we all kick in, and then at the end of the month we just divide the pot by 4, and then we just take turns. It's not a money-making endeavor, it's not for that, but it's like help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little insurance policy that you get a payout on average once a year. You know what I'm saying? And then it's a lump sum of money that you can get, $100-something, but you weren't expecting it. You all, every month for the last 10, 11 months, you've been paying this bill out your pocket, out your paycheck. All of a sudden you get a phone call to be like, hey, it's you. It's your turn to go ahead and handle that. We ain't talking about none of that other shit. Mail this to some people, then you gonna get this. When you mail it, that's too smart for me. I'm kind of slow. And so it's just simple, man. $13 a month in the pot, divide by 4, take a turn. This ain't no money making endeavor. You get your money back when you add it up. By the time your year comes, when it's your turn, you just there really getting your money back. But the goal is just to help somebody. All right. So we've done that since 2012, January 2012. It's 2018. You see what I'm saying? We've been sowing that seed for a very long time, which we pride ourselves in. I mean, because y'all watch this conscious community stuff. We pride ourselves in really being the treasurer of a community that we have within ourselves in our own private networks. Because we don't go out and do the lecture circuit. We don't lecture with people. Not that we wouldn't, we just don't. We build our own thing and building trust and keeping our message as pure as possible by not tainting it by, engaging with people and whatnot. So then what you saw is, and what you continue to see is, if you're paying attention, then you see properties now, literally. A house that had a nursing home attached to the back of it is now ours, and we get to convert that back over to basically a spiritual temple, a place of solace, a place where you can come and meditate, get away, an urban oasis. We're just in a position now where we are literally giving it all back to you and really want you to participate. We call ourselves the people champs, man. Like everything we do is, we don't never clap by ourselves. It's like, yo, let's roll together. You know what I mean? All right. So with that, man, I'm done. Do your homework on this one. All right, this one definitely requires some homework. If you need me, call me, buzz me. I'll point you in the right direction of what I think you need to do, and we can make it happen from there. So stay by your emails, all right? Peace.